Why are teddy bears called teddy bears? Well, these cuddly approximations of one of Earth's most deadliest predator was actually named after Teddy Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States. Story goes that Roosevelt refused to shoot a Louisiana black bear during a hunting trip, and this incident became so widely publicized that a New York store owner created these stuffed toys. But that's not the real story. No, far from it. Sometime during his first term in the Oval Office, Teddy Roosevelt suffered a fatal stroke. But before he could pass on from the mortal realm, he managed to possess a stuffed doll, one that happened to be lying around in his office. It was all serendipitous. Nobody knows who left the doll behind or how Teddy Roosevelt managed to transfer his soul into a ball of cotton in the shape of a bear cub. All we know is that the man was a true patriot and couldn't bear the thought of dying before his term was over. The nation was still reeling from his predecessor's tragic end. He couldn't hurt them again. So he continued to work as a toy bear. Every member of his cabinet kept his condition under wraps, even from his own family. They just couldn't take the chance. If his secret were to get out, all the other nations would undermine their authority, and he'd become easy target for their political rivals. They sent body doubles to address the nation and make public appearances as necessary. Things went off without a hitch, due to all the White House staff remaining loyal to Teddy, for they believed in his vision. They believed that he was the right person, stuffed bear to steer the nation in the right direction, and he did his best to uphold their trust. As a champion of the people, Roosevelt spearheaded bank reformation. He was also instrumental in establishing national parks and building the Panama Canal to secure an important trade route. In 1906, he even won a Nobel Peace Prize for successfully brokering the end of the Russo-Japanese War. Throughout his 2 terms in office, he was able to achieve many great things. But despite all his accomplishments, Roosevelt felt unbearably alone. He missed his family, his wife, his children, his grandchild. He missed their embrace, that simple human connection. He yearned to be human again. But despite all efforts to transmogrify him back into a person, he remained a stuffed toy. They brought together the nation's best alchemists, necromancers, and biologists, but none of their proposed plans and theories bore any fruit. At this point, Roosevelt had given up on his chance to reunite with his family, which did not sit well with his loyal staff. They believed he deserved some happiness after serving his country for years, so they concocted a different plan. They cleaned up Teddy and gifted him to his own grandchild as a toy to live out the rest of his life with his family. He'd never be able to talk to them, or hold their hands of course, because he still had a duty to withhold national secrets. But he was content with this arrangement. It was the happiest he'd ever been in the last 8 years. Even when they played too rough with him, he was happy. Even when his stitches came undone and his eye fell out, he was happy. Even when his grandchild outgrew him, moved him to the attic and left for college, he was happy. For he had lived a full life, surrounded by those who loved him back. He didn't believe he could be any happier than he is now.